Oi, oi, ladies and gentlemen, it is an All My Bets video for Saturday and Sunday. Technically the second time I'm recording this now because I ran out of memory on my phone, no. But that's a key reminder that I don't need to waffle too much. We do have plenty to get through though. I've got quite a few bets going out this weekend and I do like to justify what I'm doing to you guys out there rather than just reeling them off, but I'll try and reel them as quick as I can. Quickly, just to wrap up the fact that we've had a 5 bets Thursday, Friday, done all right both days really. 13-2 winner Curragh on Thursday, and then Faylak winning at 18s today in the Mallard Handicap. So they were sort of trendy type horses, small extra fancy on Faylak for what they'd done. So yeah, made a couple of quid there. It's nice going into a weekend doing that. Fills you with a bit more confidence when you're doing other bits, but we just have to be really key, right? I just want to reiterate to anybody that's new to the channel or even long-time viewers that just because I've had a couple of winners at prices doesn't mean that I'm going to be banging in every single winner this weekend. Yes, we can but try, and I'm hoping that we'll get some. But something I did learn from punting over years and years and years really is that sometimes you can get into a bit of a rut and you have to be careful and you might want to drop your stakes, or you may be going well when people will say put the hammer down, things like that. But some of those can be true, but in these particular instances I would always just be very careful, and I just try and treat every single bet in their own right. So just because I've had a better day today doesn't mean that I will now have a little bit more on stuff just for the sake of it. You have to treat them in isolation. So with that said, I'll tell you what I've staked on things, and I'm doing this without adjusting things. I'm not betting these stakes because of the results today or yesterday, and I'm not suggesting because I've staked X, Y or Z on these horses that you should be doing exactly the same. I like to tell you for pound stake because you know what I'm doing. I feel like it's an honest way to do it. Point systems are fine, aren't they? Because people don't need to disclose it and it can be easy for people to work out. But the main reason why I say stakes, I haven't got any real big ones this weekend, but I might have £200 each way on a horse, or I might have £400-500 on a horse. And then other times, which you'll see in here, I might have £12.50 each way on a horse. So from a staking perspective, it would literally be the case that I might have like 15-20 points on a horse if you were to do it in those terms. But yeah, I prefer not to say it as points just because I don't think it really matters. But it gives you guys a bit of a feel with me being honest that like, I could sit here and say, "Whoa, I really fancy this one," and it turns out I've had 25 quid on it. Or I could say to yourself, look, this is a really good value bet, and end up having £300, whereas my emphasis in the video may not have read that same way, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, like the video, because why wouldn't you do that? Make sure you subscribe because, again, why wouldn't you do it? And drop a comment below just to say, well done, Dave, for the last couple of days, or have a good weekend, or what you fancy this weekend, or whatever you like. Do as you please. But all those things help with the interaction on here. Nice to be nice, isn't it? I like talking to you guys as well. I'm lonely and I've got no one else to speak to apart from the dog. Right, we're going to crack on with the bets on Saturday. Kicking off in the 150 Champagne Stakes of Group 2. I'm siding with the son of Pinatubo, Wolf of Badenoch. Now, I did the GG weekend watch. Someone mentioned in the comments being about clueless because Pinatubo was 6 out of 6. But my comment in there was saying that it took Pinatubo 3 races and then he won a group race. And I was suggesting that Wolf of Badenoch could be a similar mould to his dad in that he's going to improve with time. And it was a September time that Pinatubo won his group race. It was a few months after his debut that he ended up winning like Pattern Company. So there's a bit of a pattern in there of what I'm doing with it. Now, Wolf of Badenoch, I've had a bet in here that probably will, I don't want to say annoy people, but it will seem a bit mad to people. So look, I like to justify myself as much as I can, but you can't please everybody, can you? Wolf of Badenoch I have bet. Ticks boxes on the trends as well, but I thought he was very good last time out at Goodwood. Like, looked eye-catching, looked babyish, and I'm hoping the 46 days since that he's going to have improved, and he was a good course and distance winner. I don't think there's that much depth in the race. Like, there are some good horses, and I could look like an idiot after this, but look, he was 7-2. Best price anywhere. There was 4-1, but I couldn't get on with that firm. So now he's 7-2 everywhere. You can get 130 with Corals, a fifth of the odds first 3. Now, if there's a non-runner, I'm ruined, but it's 6 runners in this race. So I've bet the Wolf of Badenoch. I was going to have 50 quid win at 4-1 or 7-2 if that was it. But at 130, I'm being a bit of a wuss, but I'm having 25 each way. It's another thing that I've learned from years of betting, that sort of capital and bankroll management's a key thing. You just don't want to blow your bank for the sake of losing it. And yes, you want to capitalise and you want to be like there. If I was doing this, I should be winning 216 and I'll get a little bit less back than that, or I'll get 150, I think it'll be back, won't it? And you'll think, oh, well, you've just thrown away a bit of like a profit in there, but it's like almost like it's an insurance-y type bet. I feel happy doing it. I'm just being honest with you guys. I could sit here and say I've had £50 win, couldn't I? And whatever it is, but I'm not doing that. I'm telling you what I've done. If I could only get the 2 places, I would just have the £50 straight win. Again, people might have difference of opinion saying, well, why wouldn't you reduce your stake down and all that sort of stuff? But I've done what I've done. We are where we are. 225 for Portland, full-blown just trend ticker, this one. I think he's got a chance, though. Most of the winners have come from the top half of the draw in that race. 8 of the last 10. It would have been 9 because Chipstead won, but lost it in the stewards' room, didn't he? Holcombe Bay ticks all the boxes for this year. 12 to 1 plus, 6 places with Bet365, a fifth of the odds. I've had £12.50 each way. So you'll see with the bets that I've done across the weekend, that's the equivalent of half a point each way, £12.50. And there'll be some other bets later on where you might question, why am I having the same amount on this as that? But this is sort of a trendsy type bet rather than being, oh, I really fancy it. But I do fancy the horse still. I give it a chance. Anyway, 3 o'clock, the Park Stakes. Small go here on Should Have Been a Ring. 14 to 1, I've bet the horse out. Lake Forest has come out, was as big as 20, 25 before there, but obviously there would have been a bit of a rule 4. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about this race because Should Have Been a Ring ticks all the boxes, but when I did the trends piece, I left Kinross on there because he hadn't won a race this season, but that was the only bit he was missing out on. I think this is Kinross's time potentially to shine. So for the bet that I've had £12.50 each way on Should Have Been a Ring. And I was hoping that Lake Forest would stay in the race. So I'm going to quickly go for this because it's probably a moot point now because he's not there. But I thought Tony Bloom left some money behind in that race where Audience was next to him in the stalls and he reared, all that sort of stuff. So I thought he would have been very well bet in here. Now, at the time, Kinross was about 5 to 2. I was expecting Kinross might drift out to potentially a 7 to 2. I thought that was actually genuinely achievable. And with a fifth of the odds first 3, I'd have been looking to have a filthy each way bet on Kinross at 7 to 2. So I'm talking 100 each way, maybe even a little bit more than that. Now, that isn't going to happen, I don't think, from the price perspective. But should it happen, should Kinross drift out a bit to about a 7 to 2, Lake Forest isn't even here, one of the horses that would be contending for those places, I'd be having it. I'd be having a good bet. But like, it's not on, so for the purpose of now, we'll just move on. And we will move on to Leopardstown. Irish Champion Stakes, I've had a bet. Probably not the one you'd suspect it to be. I don't know. Maybe you would. But it's Los Angeles, right? And I will start off by saying this is one of a couple of possibly bad bets. But again, I want to tell you everything I've done. You make your own choice up after. Los Angeles, right? Course and distance winner, was potentially going to go to the St. Leger. Well, was never going to go to the St. Leger, was he really? He's 13 to 2 is what I've bet him at. You can get 7 to 1 now. Like, he's a dirty, filthy, stinky drifter at the minute. And that's why I think it's probably a bad bet. Someone knows something that I don't know. Maybe he's in there to do some business. But I don't think he's the type of horse you can use to set up a race for, like an August Rodin. Like, he's been sweaty and keen and things before. He's a very good horse in his own right. On RPRs, his last twice, he's run 121, which is the same figure that Economics has done. He runs off the same weight as Economics because he's a 3-year-old, isn't he? And I know we haven't got Ryan Moore on board Los Angeles, but I just think that Ghostwriter hasn't won so far. Yes, he could run well, but British horses coming over in it. Luxembourg's got the cheap pieces. I just think the way that this is, Los Angeles, I think, is there to run well and should definitely place. Risky saying that, I know. We've got 8 runners at the moment, so of course if a horse comes out, it then ruins the bet even further, which is again why I'm saying it probably is a bit of a bad bet. But I've had £12.50 each way at 32 Los Angeles. I'd make him more a 5 to 1 poke. I can't let him go unbacked, so call me what you want, but I'm having a little poke on him. Now, the race after the 4 o'clock, another one that could be a bad bet, probably is, but I want to do it anyway. Euphoric, and it's not just because of the Los Angeles form line. Ryan Moore is up top here. This is a Group 3, and it works out sort of like a conditions type race because there are penalties for winners in here. Now, on weight adjusted ratings, only Kinesiology comes out on top of Euphoric. First time cheap piece for that horse, which potentially is going to bring out a sense of improvement, but they need to do something with him, don't they? And that's been achieved all in listed company. Euphoric's run a Group 2 last time and Group 1s the 2 times before. Now, yes, I know he's been well beaten, only run RPRs of 97, but did a 104, I think it was, when he was behind Los Angeles. Ran real well there. He's equivalent of a stone difference in weights now, and I don't think he's that far behind in terms of a horse. Ryan Moore's riding him for the first time, and I know we'll think it's Champions Day, he's just going to ride, but I don't think he would just ride for the sake of it. This looks a really good opportunity on those weight-adjusted ratings, because, look, Klondike won a Group 3 last time, has won a listed race, and we talked about the company that Euphoric has been keeping, albeit he's been batched. He's not really been keeping the company, has he? But he gets £11 from Klondike. Just think the 8 to 1 about him looks massive. If I could get the 4 places with Sky Bet, which I can't, I'd rather have the security of 4 places. But I've had a small go on him. I've had £12.50 each way on Euphoric. It's a bet. It's good racing coming up, but it's a bet because I think he's a bit overpriced, and I'd be annoyed if I didn't do it and he won, because I think it's feasible that he could. 4.35, another one that's feasible they could, probably won't. You probably know who I've bet in this one anyway. I have bet by Ali Stock in the Pingo Handicap. Now, he's been dropped £1 for his run last time out at Galway, where he was wide on the home turn as they turned in. The winners had already flown, like the first four. He came fifth, was potentially a bit of an eye-catcher, but sort of just did his bits, didn't he? I think he needs to be better positioned this time out. He's always improved for his racing. 6 places that are up for grabs. You can get 14 6 places. I've only managed to get 12 6 places, but I've already stuck the bet on. I'm okay with it. Steps up from 1 mile 4 to 1 mile 5 now, which should suit the horse as well. So there's plenty of reasons, I think, to suggest that he could go quite close. I wouldn't say this, I mean, it's a very good race. I wouldn't say this is any harder than what he ran in last time. And like I say, he's been dropped £1 and he did manage to finish 5th there. So look, I give him a bit of a chance. Probably could be another one you class as a bad bet, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing, guys. Right, Sunday, let's crack on. We've got 3 at Doncaster. Each of these are, I say purely, but they're off of the cheat sheets. They are the trends toppers. So look, if you haven't seen those, go to gg.co.uk. You can find them under my bio, the cheat sheets. I might link them in the description, but they're good things to look at. We've had a couple of winners from it, as I touched on earlier. But what the ones we've done in here, so the 240 in the City of Doncaster Handicap, Paboris, haven't bet him yet, but you can get 4 places, a fifth of the odds. That's what I want. He's 11-2 there. I want to get that on. I'll just be having 12.50 each way. Otherwise, he's 6-1 3 places, but I'd rather the extra places. So trends topper, that's why that one is. In the Spectre Stakes, the 3:15 Fillies race, Doom is the big trends ticker in there. Another one that I haven't struck at the moment. Some are offering 4 places. 9-1 4 places is what I want. 12.50 each way on that is what will be struck. The Legends race, the 3:45, tends to be a little bit of a novelty race, but I talked about this in the Trendsy bit that pretty much, well, most of the winners have been single figure drawn, other than the ones that are really, really high drawn. Now, 10 Commitments, Tactical Control, Terry's Royal, that like the first 3 in the bet and the only single figure horses in it, have all been drawn pretty high. So they may be okay, and there might be a lot of pace on that side. But the one that ticked all the boxes in here was Guiteau for Dominic French-Davies and Jim Colotti. 14-1 with 4 spots up for grabs. It is 16 runners, it's not a handicap, but 14-1 for 4 spots felt fine. I've had 12.50 each way on him. Right, not chronological order because I've had 2 bets before this, both at the Curragh, and a bit of a bigger staked bet as well on both of them. So in the 3 o'clock at the Curragh, it is the Moyglare Stud Stakes, Fillies race, bedtime story, 11-10. I'd have her odds on. I'd have her a 4-6 poke. I know she obviously didn't do much last time when 1-16, but when you're not running against the class of horses, sometimes it can happen. I think she's much better than Lake Victoria. We're going to find out, aren't we? There, I'd have her 4-6 in this race. If it was run 10 times, she'd win it 6 times. The fact I can get 11-10, I would class this as a value bet. £75 win I've had at 11-10. I toyed with 50, I toyed with 100. I was happy sitting at 75 in there. She looked real good on the penultimate start, didn't she? So I think that, you know, it was a bit of work last time for her. I think she's the winner of this. Ryan's still up top. I do respect Lake Victoria, but that's the reason we're getting the price, and I'm happy to have a go. The Flying 5 Stakes, the 3:35 after. Some of you would have watched the video from York where, I don't know if I emphasised it enough. I spoke to lots of people before it, but I was desperate to have a proper, decent, chunky each way bet on Believing. Now, I told a few people this. I was going to have 250 each way on Believing in the Nunthorpe if she was drawn low, because you have to be drawn low to win that race. She wasn't, she was drawn high. And I wanted her to be drawn low. And then if like Asphora and Big Evs were drawn even higher, then I would have made me want to potentially have more on. But I wanted to have a big bet. 8-1 looked too big. Yes, she comes second to Bradzel. She ran a proper race. She ran really well, but couldn't win. So I had to stop myself having the proper punt on her. In this instance, in the Flying 5, she's going to get redemption. I've got no doubt in my mind about it. Not as good a race in terms of depth behind. I'm going to say that and watch something happen. But she stays on nicely. Straight after the race, the trainer cited this race, George Bowie. She's improving with her race, and she's going to get a Group 1 at some point this season. I think this is it. She's 3-1 right, a fifth of the odds, 4 places. Now, I've had that dirty each way one earlier. I've bet her each way. I've had 50 each way at 3-1 because I'll get £80 back if she finishes second, third or fourth, and I'll get £280 back if she wins. So it's almost like an insurance bet at 7-4, which I don't mind that doing. The other reason why I've done the each way bet, like I do want to preserve the bank, and it's a 5 furlong sprint, like anything can happen type stuff, can't it? I know I'm still risking the £100 in there, but I'm just mindful that I really wanted to have a good bet on her in the Nunthorpe and I didn't get the chance. So maybe there's a part of me that wants to still let the handbrake off in here. I was trying to think to myself, like, would I be happy just having a £50 win because she could bomb, which I don't think she would. Her style of running means she'll stay on, won't she? I'm hoping anyway. And then I thought to myself, well, no, I'd rather have a bit more on. and I didn't want to take the risk of the wins, like essentially. So again, you might have difference of opinions in there. I'm just trying to be honest with what I've done, but I'm happy having 50 each way on there. I think she'll definitely place. I'll get 80 quid. Always be careful when you say definitely place, right? And I don't think she'll lose, but I don't feel confident enough when it's 5 furlong race. There's 18 runners in there. You know, that something might not happen and she might just like be nabbed on the line or whatever it is. I do think she'll win though. So if you wanted to follow me in terms of bits of bets, and obviously I've had a bit of a bigger stake there because that would work out as 2 points each way. If you didn't want to outlay as much as that, then look, a lot of you will probably think they're not going to be as much of a wuss and bet each way. You might want to bet a win dart on that one. I'd feel happy enough with that. And the same with the Wolf of Budnot. Like I said, if you couldn't get the places, I would be doing that. But look, they're all the bets that I've had for the weekend. I've waffled plenty now. Really appreciate your guys' support. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a comment if you fancy it, and I will see you again very soon.